Welcome back to the Tidarium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for January 24th, 2021. 2021. We have some Transformers news, some Transformers updates, as usual. This week, we actually have some interesting stuff to talk about when it comes to Star Wars. And we also have updates on some other franchises, maybe a lot of other franchises. We're going to talk about all this coming up. First off, I want to talk about something I found at Show Z. This KFC, the PC6C cast-off Junkion is $102. So that's the cheapest I've seen any of these Junkions lately. I know the original run, the first two were $80 like years ago. And then when they got re-released, it was all $120 for them. So there's 6 figures, only 5 are available, and they're all on sale for either 108 or this one's 102. I figured these start going on sale after a while because that's quite a few Junkions, repeated molds more or less, but it still looks cool, and I'm thinking about even picking this one up myself. Now, I got the Crash Hog, and guess what? Crash Hog is sold out, of course, because everybody wants the Wreck-Gar, but if you're in on just kind of populating your Junkion scene, you might want to do it now. So going from KFC to X-Transbots is a hop, skip, and a jump. No, it's just right there. X-Transbots Virtus. This week we got actual pictures of the actual figure itself in all forms, all modes. Looks fantastic. And this is the first time we've seen actual pictures of the actual figure. You can actually see every joint and how it moves and how it poses. Right here, you've got him in a kneeling pose with a gun. You can, next picture here, you can see his back. Now again, this is still a prototype. This isn't even the actual production version because if you see up top, that piece of glass is going to be clear, translucent, but I think this thing cleans up better than most of the figures. It might be the cleanest of all of them. I think MMC might still be the cleanest of all of them, but this one is still clean and G1, which for me makes it the best. Looking right here, here he is next to a hot rod, and this is the actual figure. They're not just the renders anymore, so I like what they're doing with this figure. And yes, I will talk about price here in just a little bit. Here he is kneeling down and talking and chatting with his human version and the human version of Ultra Magnus. Now, if they're making Ultra Magnus also, are they making an actual Ultra Magnus? That's a big question. That's a big rumor that might start circulating around soon, and I hope it turns out to be true. Anyway, here he is in a car mode. I really like the way this car mode looks. It looks fantastic, and again, that will be a transparent windshield on there. I think this looks spot on. I mean, come on, triple changer, all 3 modes spot on. There it is. That mode is spot on. Now, for whatever reason, we don't have paint on the back side of this thing, but it does look really good. And this is the best pictures they've shown so far. You do see the wheel exposed on the tail fin there, but I'm okay with that. And here it is in flight mode. Now, this is something I wanted to point out. They include a spinning propeller. Now, I saw that before, but now this shows it in action, an actual spinning propeller. So that is one of the best ways to display this. I've never seen this before on a Transformer. Fantastic. Okay, and then here are the human figures again. Now, I don't think that they're posable. I think they're statues, but I don't know for sure. Maybe they got some waist swivel. Maybe the arms move a little bit, but it doesn't look like it. But anyway, still, it's cool that they included it, but I think it's more of a hint of what's to come. Here's the car underside showing that you can store all of the weapons on it, and that's a big thing that they've been doing in the Masterpiece line for a long time. They're actually integrating that into the mainline a bit. Here's another picture of the helicopter without the spinning blade. Spinning Dijon kick. Nope, it's not with the spinning blade. It's the standard weapon blade. And we're going to talk for a second about price. It's a $200 figure. I think it's worth $200. I didn't expect to pay $200. I already bought mine and paid mine from Show Z. Sad thing is that Show Z had it locked in at a certain price. X-Transbots came out and says they're doing a premium version. They're not doing a standard version. And that's where things start getting sticky. So people like myself who've already pre-ordered and prepaid for it have to either pay $50 more or cancel our order. So that's where we're at. I don't like that, but at the end of the day, I understand. With everything that's going on these days, and price increases, things get more expensive, I'm okay with it. I'm not happy about it at all, but I'm okay with it, and I think this will be the best. I think this will be worth it. Please, X-Transbots, don't let me down. But if you were paying attention this last week, we had a reissue of Apache. I was out of town. I saw some messages through my email. By the time I got home to post it on YouTube on my community tab, it had sold out. So this thing sold out quick. Of course, I've heard something about the sniff test. So if you get a reissue Apache, it's not going to smell the same as, say, if you get a Spindrift 2.0 and cut it open, because that was freshly manufactured, as this thing's been sitting for 2.5 to 3 years in a warehouse, according to me. Now, the price on this Apache is going to be $210, so it's less than the new triple changer price of $220, but still, I got my Apache for $130. So from $130 to $210, and I don't think it's going to be better than what we're going to get with X-Transbots Virtus. Okay, so we got some pictures this week of the youth version, or the toy version, of Menasor from X-Transbots. Now, I still need to get my review going for my X-Transbots trailer. I'm trying to consider how I'm going to go about that, because there's a couple of factors that I need to look at when reviewing this trailer. But this is the youth version, and it's also going to come with this little car. Now, I don't remember this car having a name in the original Transformers G1 line. But when they came to the Combiner Wars, they gave it a name of Blackjack. But I'm not sure if it's really what its name's supposed to be. Now, I don't want to pay an extra $50 for this thing. Now, they're not saying that it's going to cost $50 or anything, but I got this weird feeling. Now you got to pay $50 to get this Blackjack. I don't know, but it just wouldn't surprise me with the way X-Transbots been going these days. Like, I try to defend X-Transbots as much as I can, because I do want every company that makes G1 style stuff to stay in business. But some of this stuff kind of bothers me. If they charge you extra for this, I understand it's extra, but come on, it's got to be at least a good price. Now, here we are with the trailer, and again, the trailer looks a whole lot like the other trailer, but it is made to look just like the toy, and I think it's a kind of exciting thing to do to make it look like the toy. So we are getting a lot of people making their own custom faces for the Masterpiece Takara RC, and I think that it's surprising, because I thought that Takara did a good job with the face. And I know Dr. Wu's making one. In the bottom left picture, that's Dr. Wu's. And it's unpainted, they're not quite done yet. And some of these other ones are people taking it on their own, doing their own 3D printing and whatever. I guess they scan in Takara's face, mod it a bit, and then reprint it, paint it, and do that stuff. But I got to wondering, why is there a massive obsession in Japan about RC? And I've done a lot of research into that, and I got a video coming talking about that probably in about 2 weeks. But it's kind of interesting into the different culture and why they like this character so much. We'll talk about that coming up. This week, we've seen a slew of pictures of the MMC's Optus Pexus. So this is obviously Orion Pax, sort of. And I have to say that this is kind of an exciting release. There are a ton of people with pictures out there, so I think people already have them in hand. I don't know how they got it in hand so quick, but anyway, it looks pretty good. This is it in its alt mode, and I checked around, and it still says pre-order at the places I order, so not really sure how they're getting their hands on it so quick. And these are some official pictures from MMC, but I got one picture from, I don't know if it's MMC or if it's just a fan, but I got that coming up. This does look pretty good. I do like the silver on the legs and the thighs. So it's kind of like, feels more like a step between Orion Pax and Optimus Prime to me. But of course, there's some more going on with it. Here is the box, is the packaging, and of course a shelf full of Orion Pax. I mean, you could tell where this figure is about to go. So that's kind of fun. I like stuff like this. It's kind of foreshadowing. So we got a few things going on with the Legends, and we have the legendary heroes, the New Age Harry EX version. Of course, this is the Prowl, this is the packaging, and of course I love that kind of retro style packaging there. Here he is, and he's got an upgraded paint job. I think that they already did a good job with paint in the first place, so they just added quite a bit more decals to it. In other words, an excuse to reissue it. And I have to tell you, I'm not upset that they come up with a good excuse to reissue it. Here is the car in the car mode, the alt mode, and again, it looks good. I do admit the alt mode on this looks a lot cleaner than my Iron Trans, but I like my Iron Trans bots for the size, and I think they look good in bot mode. I do want to give it to New Age that the alt mode does look better than my Iron Trans. There's a whole lot of pictures floating around about Iron Factory's Absolute Zero. Now, this is just a repaint of their Red Dragon from before, but it's a Blue Dragon. I think it looks cool. In fact, I kind of like the fact that this is a stylized version of the Megatron that was the Dragon Megatron from Beast Wars. And I like the fact that if you get a stylized version and it's colored different, it makes more sense to me to be in my collection. I like it. It looks really cool. I don't know if it's worth the price. I mean, I'll let y'all decide on that one. And here he is in his dragon mode, looking like a dragon, looking all mean. And I think both modes look good. In fact, I don't even know what mode I'd store it in. And that's, again, the classic Beast Wars problem. Do you store them in bot mode or do you store them in beast mode? That's a good question. So I got a bunch of pictures of Magic Square's Bumblebee, and it blows my mind. It blows my mind that New Age comes out with a picture of their Bumblebee. And then like a week or two later, Magic Square comes out with a picture of their Bumblebee. But then a week after that, it's getting released. That's crazy. I would have thought that New Age would have come out first because they revealed first. Crazy how things work out. Anyway, here's the packaging for Magic Square, and it looks like you'd expect with the Magic Square packaging. And the Bumblebee artwork on it, it all looks good. It looks like it's in line. Here is a group shot. Now, I did kind of have to pull this out of a video, so probably not the easiest way to get a picture, but there is a picture. I think that's the best picture I could have gotten out of this to show you size, show you scale. This is with the feet pulled up at the highest and tallest he'll be. You can make them shorter if you want. Here's another picture I had to pull out of said video. So there he is, looking good. And yeah, I think he looks like a really solid version of Bumblebee. I like it in bot mode. I'm not a big fan of the alt mode myself, but again, I wouldn't display it in the alt mode. Okay, so we've got pictures of Vecma Studio, the VS05 Crocodile. Here's the thing about this guy. This is the McFans Toys. I don't care what other crazy name that McFans Toys comes up with, but it's the McFans Toys version of the Crocodile Croc. He looks good. And they're doing the headmasters. They're doing them right. They're a little bit bigger than the other ones. I like the way it looks. They're also putting out at the exact same time, I think it's the exact same time, they're putting out an Optimus Prime repaint with the exact same mold. So I think it's smart that they're going to try to reuse the mold however they do. So it is what it is. I don't know if anyone's in on this, but of course, the character Optimus Prime always sells. Then I guess it's okay that they just kind of make this up here. Here we go with the box, the packaging art. Love it. Looks good. So this week we've got colored pictures of the Dr. Wu Chatter DWP51. And this looks right, like it's supposed to be. These are to go in your Chug Soundwave. That's what they're for. That's what they're meant for. Here is the alt mode of them. I think they look good, considering how ridiculously small they are, considering how as obscure as Hasbro's going, they're not going to go this obscure in the tapes, I don't think. But they assume that, hey, if you're going to buy this, you're going to buy this. Recolored into the DWP51B. I think that looks kind of cool. I mean, it's kind of a nice repaint. And if you don't like all the bright colors and craziness, this will work for you, right? But if you really like bright colors and craziness, then they're going to give you this one too. So a lot of different colors, a lot of different repaints of the molds, and I like that they're doing this. Now it's kind of catering to the mainline, so that's a nice transition. So transitioning to some mainline stuff, before we quite get to that, we've got some pictures of Cheetor. I heard people talking about it, and I was just thinking, okay, it can't be that bad. I heard it can't be that bad. I don't know. If this is what the Beast Wars is going to look like, I don't know if I'm interested at all in the the live action CGI Beast Wars that they're going to be making, but I don't know. What does everybody else think? It is not as good as I thought. Here's the thing. You can mess with the design, but why not keep the colors the same? I mean, even Michael Bay kept most of the colors sort of in that pocket. Even though they completely changed the design, this is changing the design, the color. I guess he's still a cat, but that's kind of crazy. When you abandon the source material, you lose 75% of the fans. And I don't understand why they don't understand that. Like, we're abandoning source material. Here is the face. That tells a story. Speaking of faces in Beast Wars, they're changing up a face. There's like a running change to a Beast Wars Megatron face in the dinosaur mode. So there's a lot of question about why it's all changed up, what the difference is. So I haven't really dug deep into this figure yet, so I don't know a whole lot. But I do want to say that I've seen Hasbro make running changes. I've seen them do a lot of things different. We're going to see a couple of running changes in this video, but I don't know why they did it, and I don't know if it's going to be an extra added feature or what it is, but it's still kind of interesting to see what the future holds with the mainline, because I think Hasbro's doing a really good job with it. We got more pictures of Dinobot, and yeah, it seems like every week we get different pictures of different angles of Dinobot. I think it's good. I don't think he's great, but I think his head is spot on, though. Like, that head is perfect. I don't think you could have done his head more perfect. I think his legs are a little wonky, his chest's a little wonky, but at the end of the day, it's the best mainline version of Dinobot that we've gotten, and for 20, wait, he's going to be 30 bucks? I guess 30 bucks, not bad. And the alt mode looks okay from this angle. I think from the other angles, it's not the greatest. This is a tough character to make. I mean, even the Masterpiece is really complex and doesn't achieve it 100%. It's about an 80 or a 78%. So to get it for 30 bucks in the mainline, and as good as it is, not bad. This week we got a lot more pictures of Kingdom Huffer, and I'm going to say Huffer looks great in his bot mode. I think that's what most people care about. Most people are interested in the bot mode the most, and so I think he looks great. I don't really know what the whole attachment to the side of his arm is, and I guess I should watch a review or something. But I feel like I got a few things showing up in my area, and no more Deluxe Studio Series, no more of the Deluxe Kingdom. So we're not seeing all of this stuff show up that I'm seeing other people get, which is a little disappointing to me. Here we are with his alt mode, and of course at this angle of this picture, it looks not so bad. I just think the alt mode, the back, is a fail. I think what they tried to do, they tried to bring out this gimmick with it, which is cool in a way, but hauling the trailer. I don't think it needed to haul the trailer. I don't think that that's something that it had to do. But again, you can replay this from the movie. You can have him holding the trailer. Here, hold my trailer, Huffer, while Prime is a bot. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. So I think it's cool they did it, but I think the overall alt mode misses because of it. And we've got more pictures of him next to Prime. So that's how tall he is. I think that is a great height. That is almost perfect for Huffer. Like, he's a mini bot. He's not super small. He's not super huge. And this is a massive improvement over the original Huffer. I can't wait to get my hands on it and review it. I had to dig, but I did find my original Legends Huffer from Hasbro, and it's not great. Here's how he stacks up with the rest of them. So what you're getting with him, he's 20 bucks. He is smaller than Wheeljack, taller than Bumblebee. And so, yes, is he worth 20 bucks? Yes, character-wise. The amount of plastic and stuff, probably not. Again, we're getting into that whole mini-bot problem in the mainline. You just have to look at it. If you're buying them all, they average out, and they all end up being worth it as an average. So we've seen Studio Series Dino pictures, and I think it looks interesting as a bot mode. Again, I'm not a huge fan of this type of stylization, but I have to admit, even someone who is kind of super duper G1 like myself, I love the alt mode. This isn't fantastic alt mode. I love the way it looks, and I think a lot of the Bayverse designs gave a lot more to the alt modes than the bot modes. And here I think we're getting that. I think we're getting a lot of work on the alt mode more than the bot mode. But again, thanks to Ton Reviews, a lot of the stuff that he's putting out, a lot of the content, a lot of his ability to get his hands on these figures give us more insight into the figures earlier than them showing up on US shores. Getting more pictures of the Red series, and we've got a couple of pictures showing up here. Now here's Bumblebee, and I have to say, he looks okay. I'm fine with this Bumblebee, but somebody pointed out, actually a few people pointed out, that he's gonna be way too big. He's gonna be way too big to be Bumblebee in the red line. He's gonna be the same size as the rest of them, theoretically. Now, again, there's not proof of that just yet. Look at the box of Starscream. And Starscream, again, people feel like he's too stylized. I think he looks fine. I think he's okay. I don't expect much out of the Red Series anymore. But if Bumblebee's the exact same size as Starscream, it doesn't work. So could you use that Bumblebee on your Masterpiece shelf, maybe? Speaking of the Red Series, people are seeing Red Series, the RC, Prime RC, and the Cheetor available at retail. So that's a good thing. That is a good thing that they're moving. There's products showing up, but it ain't showing up around here. I do want to talk on the main line. I got more of these Quintessons from TF Source. I have to tell you, I could not find one at retail. Not one. Out of about 30 Walmarts and 20 Targets, not one of these Quintessons ever hit retail in my area that I know of. And so I had to pay a little bit of a premium. I got them at TF Source, 35 bucks. They're still up. They're in stock right now. Don't know how long they'll stay in stock. I think this is last wave syndrome. They came out in the last wave. I don't know if they'll reissue it for Kingdom. I don't have that information just yet. But I don't care. I want 3 of these guys. I got my 3 of these guys. Coming in. I'm happy. I'm satisfied, I guess. I was always kind of hoping I could catch them on that $17 sale. And the game of Russian roulette backfired on me. So I don't want it to backfire on you guys. If you're in on this, get one while you can. I know I said lastly, there is a patching variation for Warpath. And this means a lot to me because I'm an Impact collector. When I've done reviewing stuff, sometimes I put it back in the package. And my Warpath I opened could not go back in the package securely. Now there's a running change, and so with the running change, you'll be able to put it back in the package without having the straps back in it, or whatever you call those ties that hold it in. So the one with the cardboard hanger versus the clear hanger, theoretically you should be able to put that one back in the package. Now transitioning to Star Wars, to clear it up, this is where I like to talk about stuff that's not Transformers or Star Wars. So transitioning to that, I'm going to talk about these are the 80s Commanders made by Ramen Toys, and I made a video about this last Wednesday. It was pretty well received on the Retro Wednesday, but I have to say, I got in contact with them. They got back with me. They gave me a little bit more information and cleared up some stuff for me. Number one, I was wrong. They will not be out in May. They target a December release. Number two, the May time frame, they expect to have an actual tangible prototype of the bodies by then. What they're trying to do is work out articulation to have them on the level or better, at least as good, if not better, than Black Series, Star Wars, and Marvel Legends. And I think that they can achieve that. And they're putting all of this time and effort into it. So they're going to give me updates as we go, and I'm really hoping I can get my hands on an early test sample and do a comparison for you guys. I'm really excited for this line and what the future holds. Now on Super 7's Instagram, and if I'm talking about Instagram, you know somebody tipped me off because I avoid Instagram like the plague, but it's still better than Twitter. Anyhow, on their Super 7 Instagram page, they posted this picture of all the franchises that they're getting into coming up. Now you analyze this, some people pointed out there's some Star Trek in there. There is some Godzilla in there. There is Silverhawks in there. And there's more. It's amazing how much you can get out of that little edge cut of a picture, and I'm kind of excited. I'm hoping these are Ultimates or Classics and not not the reaction line. I have lost interest in the reaction line. I was super excited for a while, but after a while, with the $18 a figure for something that should be 10, is kind of getting old. So, some of the biggest news this week in Star Wars comes with the Dark Trooper for Hot Toys 1/6 scale, 12-inch. These things look amazing. I have to admit, these look awesome. I like the Dark Trooper. I do have the Expanded Universe 3 3/4-inch Dark Trooper. I kind of loaded up on them. I thought those were pretty cool. But if you load up on these and get 6 of these, it's going to cost you $1,700 at $260 a piece plus tax. $1,700. These things are expensive. I'm going to wait for the Black Series version, or the Vintage Collection version, or the inevitable Retro Collection version. But again, that doesn't stop me from adoring how amazing these look. When I saw this in The Mandalorian, I knew they were going to make a ton of these things. And Hot Toys out the gate starting, well, they announced it today. Maybe they'll have it by 2022, but it's still awesome that it's coming. Okay, so we have what's being called, these aren't my words, these are other words, the worst wave of Vintage Collection ever. I don't agree. I think the wave that had Rey in it was the worst wave, but this is pretty darn near close. Like, I don't need another Anakin. I don't need a Queen Amidala. I'm kind of interested in the Battle Droid because it is an army builder, so that's a good one. But I got a TIE Fighter pilot. Like, I looked at an ocean of these in Walmart and said, I think I'll take a TIE Fighter pilot. Now I got to go through my what's now 300 figures in Vintage Collection. Well, it's 170 something figures in Vintage Collection, so I got to go through them all and figure out if I have a TIE Fighter pilot, if I even needed it. I just can't remember at this point because they've made so many, and so many that they've made don't even matter. So the Black Series build-up pack with the Mandalorian and the Child are circulating back around into Target. So if you missed out on this, you can pick it up. But I do want to point out, if you missed out on this, then you might just want to pick up this other one. So this is the Galaxy... what do they call this one? This is the new little miniature figures that are on the Walmart aisle. This thing is clearancing out, but I'm betting it'll clearance out even less. But I got them for my kids so they could display it with their Black Series figures. And guess what? The pram is the exact same size as the one that comes with Black Series. I'm sure there's some reason for it. It might even be the exact same one. I don't know. But it's really, really, really close to the Black Series version. So if you choose to just get the standard release Mandalorian with Beskar and get this for the pram, you won't be disappointed. So we have pictures of the Andor outdoor film set. And I want to say that I'm pretty excited about this. The thing is that this is what makes Star Wars good. Real world feel. Real world sets. Real world everything. They're putting a lot of time, effort, and money into this, which is outstanding. I absolutely love that. And for that, we are going to reap the benefits of a good show that is immersive and true to the source material. I think that everything that you make should hold true to the source material. Don't pull too far away from it. And I think that's what made Mandalorian good. That's what's going to make this good. And I'm hoping, and I'm pretty sure, it won't feel like you're just an offshoot from Mandalorian. It's going to be its own thing that still holds close to the source material. This is really interesting. We've got pictures of the Disney World Star Wars hotel. You got like these little Star Wars bunk beds, which is kind of interesting, kind of cool. Now, I don't know. Will they put some sort of something in there that's soft to lay on? I don't know. This is interesting in just the fact that if you stay in this hotel, I'm guessing you're going to feel like you're staying in the Star Wars world. Talk about a vacation from reality. I think that's what vacations are all about. Get away from reality for a bit. And this is one way to do it. You can also look out this window into space. Now, I don't know if this window is going to just give you like a fake look of space, or if they actually have a whole area out there that looks like it's Star Wars. It's just interesting that they're doing this. And, well, it's going to be expensive, trust me. But seeing as how they're making it real small and compact, they're going to put a whole lot of these in there. So let me know what you think about this week's weekly news and review. What other crazy, awesome stuff is going on out there? Like and subscribe. Titanium Hanger out.